Hello friends, my name is David and thanks for joining me, and this is my channel. Today's video, all that we do to ourselves. This could be a tough thing to understand, but it is imperative that we understand it in order to move forward. Because the key is to recognize who you are not in order to understand who you are. And the key is to understand what you have the ability to do, and your power and your strength, in order to understand how to properly use it for yourself. So each one of us have the ability to do two things in our life. One, we have the ability to give it life, or one or the other, we have the ability to take away its life. Now, essentially, we do not have that ability to give or take away anyone else's life. They have that choice to make. It feels like they don't, but they do. We have the ability, for us, each one of us, we can give our world life, or we could take away its life, to add resistance in it so much that we squeeze the life out of it, pinch the life off. There is no source of death, and we do not have the ability to die. We do not have the ability to kill anything, which is just such an interesting concept when you think about it. There is no source of death. Jesus illustrated this and proved this when he came back with the resurrection, to help us understand that even when we pinch our life off, even when we tend to move and crucify ourselves on a regular basis by seeing the lack in our life and seeing what's missing, which is the only form of real crucifixion in our life that we can have, because it pulls us so far apart from our source, who sees everything as holy and whole. As we pull ourselves apart from who we are by seeing that which is not there, we crucify ourselves, so to speak. And he proved that even during that, as much as you pull yourself apart from your source, you'll never truly leave it. You'll never truly be able to disconnect from that which is love and life. And he proved that with the resurrection, to help us understand what we were doing to ourselves. But even with doing that to ourselves, we have the ability to rise back up in our life and to continue back in the form of love and appreciation, and to see that which is there. Does that make sense? We don't have to continue to crucify ourselves. We can become the resurrection in our own lives. There was another illustration that he showed with the fig tree. As he said, you will not grow anymore. And to those around him, saw him say it, and then the next morning, as the story goes, right, it had died, or rather, it has squeezed the life off of it. So he was trying to help others understand that that's what they were doing in their life, that they were looking out at their world and deciding for it not to grow. You will not grow anymore, and therefore squeezing the life out of our life. So now, what is he really helping us understand? That we are indeed the creator of our life. Now think about what creation is. Creation is you get to decide. Each one of us get to decide of what our life will be. That's what a creator is. Now, it's interesting because from my perspective, I've learned it's kind of like you're looking at something that's already been created, so to speak, and it has this meaning already coming back, and we have to somehow try to figure out how to give it new meaning. But if you look at science, science says that everything is coming in and out of focus, right? The quantum physics gave us a whole new idea of how life works, and it's coming in and out of focus many a times, and each time it comes back in with a new meaning, kind of like a film strip, right? We're giving it all new meaning. So each second of your life, you have the ability to start over. Boom, start over, start over, start over. But we have this ongoing idea of the past that's already going. You see, so we're qualified or given meaning to our life based on the past. Now, the past, most of the time for each one of us, has both. It has that which is lackful and missing, and that which has and which feels like it's there. Anytime you look at lack, you move against your source. You move against your inner being, and you pull yourself apart from your inner being. Anytime we see what is there in the form of love or joy or flow or any kind of positive emotion, then we are now moving and looking at life in the form of our inner being, the same or at least close to the same as how they see it, how that bigger part, that higher mind sees it, or how you would say God would see the world. It is good. It is good. He created the world and it was good. He never said it would ever be bad. He said it is good, like it would be permanently good. As we look out in the world and don't see it as good, we don't recognize that it's coming from us. All that you see is coming from you. It's not coming from outside in the world. And now we start understanding the world is an effect. You are the cause. The world has nothing in it. It's empty. It's neutral. It can go either way. You get to decide. You are the creator. That's what being the creator means, right? You get to decide what meaning you give it based on your thoughts and based on your feelings, and then it will come back to you in the form of whatever thought and feeling you gave it. Here he's illustrating it with those saying, look, you're giving it a thought of lack. You're giving it a thought of loss. You're giving it a thought of what you would call your idea of death or lack of life. And therefore it's coming back exactly in that way, just like the fig tree. So all that we give to the world in the form of meaning comes back to us. So if you could just try this, if you look around your world right now and imagine that everything you're seeing as far as meaning goes, as far as the flavor of it goes, as far as the feeling of it goes, is indeed coming from you. You're giving it that feeling, that richness. Just like someone playing the piano, it's just the keys, but they're giving it the life, the meaning, the creativity, the magic of the music is coming from them. The piano cannot do it of itself. I'm a martial artist, and martial arts is nothing. Forms mean nothing without the person giving it the meaning and the feeling and the flow. We are natural creators based on the feeling of life that we give it, not the feeling of death that we give it. You see, that's what we need to understand. That's why he said, you are the light of the world. You give your life everything. Money is nothing unless you have an idea of how to spend it and what to do with it and how to see it. And what do you see? You're still everything in your life. A relationship is nothing until you give it the meaning that it has for you. And if you give it that meaning of love, that same meaning, if you give your money or give your relationship or give your world out there the same meaning as your inner being, as that God part of you gives it, of love and richness and life and flow and fun and excitement and expansion, then it will come back to you in the form of just magical, right? A magical realization. But either way, it's coming from where? From you. Not your body, not what you see in the mirror. The true essence, a real part of you that we tend to hide sometimes and not recognize is there. The creative part of you, the magical part of you, what Jesus called the light. You are the light. And he was talking about you dim it by putting that barrel, that idea of everybody else's opinion, the world over it, and not realizing it's you that are doing it all. And as we let go of that world's opinions and that world's idea, then we become the true light of who we are. the creator of our own experience and the giver of everything in our life. But we do need to understand that the things that are not working in our life are not coming from out there. It is our choice to look at life in the form of lack and loss, to take away its life instead of give it life. Why not look at the world and give it its life? Almost like a magic wand, you have the ability to give it all its magic. As you look at the sunset, realize that you're the painter of it. Wow, the beauty of the sunset. And I love the way the orange moves in here like this, and the way the sun kind of looks like this, and the clouds come. You're doing that, not the sun. You're the one painting it. You're the one designing it. Does that make sense? No one else sees it that way. Someone else says, wow, I never saw it that way. That's amazing. You see, it's neutral. It's just consciousness there. You're the one giving it all its meaning. As God said, I give it the goodness, and it shall be. That's what you do every day of your life. Don't give it to something else that can't do it for you. There's nothing outside of you. We each have to do that for our life. What you decide to do today, be present with it. Give it love. Design it. Create it. You see? As you look out in the world, it's not coming from out there. It's coming from within here. This is the gateway to everything from within. There's nowhere to go out there. As Bashar says, you can go as far as the reaches of space. All you'll find is yourself. You are doing it all. You are the creator. As you look at the pictures on the walls of your house, design and create. Notice how beautiful and elegant this is and how amazing this is. We tend to think that we have to create by doing. But what if you could just create by watching and becoming and recognizing? This is a different idea of creating. Because everything's coming in based on your vibration. You have attracted it, right? The idea of law of attraction. And it has come in for one purpose, I've learned in my life, for you to love it, to give it meaning for you in order to receive it back. As you give it the meaning of joy and you say, oh, I love the clouds, I love the trees like this, even though you're not doing it, so to speak, right, in a physical way, you're just watching it and giving it meaning as it moves and flows around in your life. Recognizing that hat over there, I really love the way it looks and I love the colors on it. And wow, this beautiful blue sky and those clouds are just amazing. They make me feel this way and this way. And you start giving it more and more on purpose. And your energy starts flowing and the vibration rises. Then you will start creating more with your source, more with who you are, more as who you are. And then it will come in more the way you want it to come in. Does that make sense? We can only create in two ways. We can look out in the world and give it life and have it flow for us. Or we can look out in the world and take its life away. You see, through giving it lack, seeing lack in it, seeing lack in others, things that's missing in others, judging people based on personalities that have lack in them, loss in them, and then focus on it so much that we squeeze the life right out of it through our focus on it, because our inner being will never, ever join us in that type of creation. Our inner being knows to expand life and love and goodness. And when we look at it and try to take it away, we're going to feel that resistance. And these are the only two choices we'll ever have. Ever. All that we do, all that we create, we do to ourselves. It's coming from within, not from without. Why not from my perspective, make a choice to create from a place of love and flow. And go out today and paint. Paint what's there. Notice it in a way in which it just becomes magical to you. And I assure you, as you look out and see the beauty and you see the goodness and you see the flow in everything you come across to the best of your ability, you're going to start building a synchronicity and it's going to start flowing as one. And you're going to feel it. That's for sure. And then as it transforms in front of you and the world becomes this magical, wonderful place as much as possible. And when you let go of the idea of anything missing or lost or lack in that moment, and you become more present with your creations, more loving, more kind, more considerate. And we let go of the idea of what we're missing, the world's going to transform. And you're going to see for sure, as Jesus said, you are the light of your world, 100%. And that you do have the ability to resurrect it in such a way that it becomes the most magical and wonderful and amazing thing for yourself. And from that perspective, you will inspire others to do the same for themselves. I hope this helps. Thank you for listening, guys. Much love to all of you. Hit the like button if it's speaking to you and subscribe. And as always, my unconditional love and appreciation on this journey of creation.